Sao mau coi đây.
Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here, welcoming you to the road to my 650th Platinum Trophy. So the reason I wasn't talking during the first part of the video was I didn't know how many tries that trophy was going to take me, even though I did it first try with no problem. And then there's also that extremely long trophy delay that we have for Black Ops 3 specifically. I don't know why. But anyway, yes, today's Platinum number 650 was Call of Duty Black Ops 3, the PS4 version, of course, because I'm not crazy enough to do the PS3 version of it. As you can see, we're only at 67%, got quite a ways to go on the DLC. But yes, finally obtained this Platinum. Now, I bought this game, I'm pretty sure the day it came out, and was starting out playing it on Hardened. And that means that it took me about 7 years, just under 7 years to get this Platinum. Now, one thing to note about this game is that it is a very, very rare Platinum trophy. At the time this is being recorded, I think PSN Profiles has it as a 0.73% Platinum, which would make this my second sub 1% Platinum that's still a sub 1%. And my second rarest Platinum of all time, only behind Far Cry 2. So, very proud of that. This game is certainly not easy by any means, but I do think it's a little bit overhyped on its overall difficulty. I would only put this probably around maybe the 4th hardest in the franchise, because it is not as hard as Call of Duty Classic, as far as I can tell from, the fact that I still have to go back and do Call of Duty Classic. I can't imagine it's as hard as Black Ops 4 with all that Blackout Battle Royale stuff, plus all of the zombies Easter eggs that take like 3 hours apiece regardless. So I don't think it's quite to those levels, and I would say that the campaign, even the veteran and realistic stuff you have to do, really is not even as bad as Call of Duty World at War. But I would still say that this is harder than, say, Black Ops 2. It's definitely harder than Black Ops 2. And I would say that it was probably harder than what I would assume for Cold War. Though Cold War was probably an easier game overall back near when it released because of some of the multiplayer stuff you had to do. So for the Platinum Trophy, you have to finish all 11 campaign missions on Hardened, Veteran, or Realistic. And then you also have to complete the entire campaign at any point on Realistic mode. So we're going to talk about this in a second when we get to the Big Bad Trophy. You have to complete the campaign on any difficulty, very easy. You have to kill 6 enemies affected by a single blinding swarm or firefly swarm. This one's fairly easy, just find a big group of enemies, use those abilities on them, and you should be able to get it. I did it all the way back in 2017 very easily. Get 5 kills with a single burst of unstoppable force. That's easy, you just have to find, again, a little group of enemies to deal with this. Kill 20 enemies while flying the same Talon. I think I probably did that on like the second mission of the game because you're supposed to control a Talon on that mission. You have to kill 10 enemies in under 3 seconds. That one's pretty tough to miss just by playing the game naturally, so don't worry too much about that. You have to find all the collectibles in the game. There's quite a few of them. There's like 5-ish per level. So there are quite a few collectibles, but if you just follow a collectible guide, you don't have anything to worry about. Now, this trophy I was saving for last. I thought it was going to be a little bit tougher than it was. I was under the assumption that you had to use that copycat ability that allows you to pick up weapons from dead enemies, because in this game they have biomarkers to them or something to where you can only pick up enemy weapons if you have that one specific ability. But no, all I had to do was just have a few weapons set up and then just get a couple of kills with one class, then go to the mobile armory, switch classes, get 2 more kills, go to the mobile armory, switch classes one more time, get 1 more kill, do it within 30 seconds, and you are good to go. Did it first try, no problem. So, personal decorator. This is the big bad trophy of the game, as it requires you to complete 11 other requirements. Now, some of them are very easy, such as maxing out all your cyber cores or killing a total of 2,000 enemies. Some of them are very easy. Some of them are ridiculously grindy, and that would include having to unlock every single weapon, attachment, and camo, which requires you to get an average of 650 kills per primary weapon and several hundred kills per secondary weapon. I think pistols are only 150 and the launchers are like 300. So yeah, you have to get an absurd number of kills. You also have to complete every single challenge in the game, which requires you to do like sometimes as many as 500 kills with certain abilities. So you have very, very grindy challenges like that. And then you have the more problematic ones, such as completing all the accolades in the missions, which actually isn't, I would say, quite as bad as it was in Black Ops 2. But then you also have to complete the campaign on realistic mode. On realistic mode, you die in 1 hit from almost everything. The only thing that makes realistic not as bad as it could have been are 2 things. One, you can play the entire game in co-op, but I actually did everything solo. And 2, you can pick your weapons layout. So similarly to Black Ops 2, where you could put the Storm PSR in your class in every single mission, that was the sniper rifle that could see and shoot and charge through walls and such. So there's a weapon sort of like that. It's called the Draken. It's a sniper rifle. You put the infrared scope, FMJ, and a few other attachments on it, and it becomes an absolute beast. It can kill human enemies in like 1 shot through everything. Plus, you can also have the revive ability as one of your 2 abilities. So it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. There were certainly some difficult sections, but also you're allowed to die as many times as you want on your realistic playthrough, so it's really not that big a deal. It's just a little bit of trial and error. Sometimes you can brute force your way through with the stealth suit. I would say that the most difficult part of this one for me was the veteran no-death run, because yes, you can survive a couple of hits, and yes, you can use that thing to revive you, but if you die or fail the mission by, shooting a friend or something, then you have to restart the entire mission, and I got screwed over several times during that run by really just stupid crap happening to me. Like during the very end of the final mission of the game, which is such a long mission, I died to the mines in the water during the final section because for some reason I couldn't hit them. And then maybe mission 5, I didn't die at the very end of mission 5, I died in the giant robot defense room where you have to kill all the robots and destroy the 3 times you have to jump up on the central thing. You guys know what I mean if you played through this game. So overall, it is a very time-consuming trophy, and it is definitely by far the hardest trophy in the game and one of the hardest trophies in the Call of Duty franchise. But overall, once again, I do think this game is slightly overrated in its overall difficulty. I would probably put it at like a 7-ish out of 10, probably no higher than a 7 actually, because it is time-consuming, it is challenging, but it's definitely not to the level of Black Ops 4 or Call of Duty Classic or some of the other really difficult platinums out there. So as for the remaining trophies, unlock all camos for any weapon is going to come along the way to personal decorator. Take control of an ASP, you just have to hijack it with a certain ability. All the collectibles, already talked about that. 5 kills from over 100 meters away is pretty easy and will probably come naturally. Kill an enemy through a wall or obstruction is unmissable. 3 enemies in a single melee combo. It's basically just have 3 enemies lined up and use the rapid melee strike on them. Wall run over 250 meters. I don't know if it has to be done in a single run or if it can be multiple. The gold rating in the training simulator, it's not awful because you can do this particular trophy on recruit, but it may take a couple of tries to get the pattern and everything down. You have to use an enemy combat robot to kill 10 enemies. This one should come naturally, probably during your first playthrough. 3 talons with a single midair grenade detonation. I got this one sort of messing around during the mission with the giant trees. I don't know if that's the best place to get it, but that's where I got it. Talked about the cyber cores and the attachments. 5 stun enemies under 3 seconds. I'm not entirely sure what I did for that one. I don't know if I just threw a flashbang and just meleeed them all really quickly, or just used... It may have been robots that I hit with like an EMP grenade and then did one of the abilities, the one that makes you do the slam attack. Then you have to play Dead Ops Arcade 2. That's fairly easy. You have to complete... Now we're on to the Zombies trophies, actually. And this game has a very easy base trophy list for zombies. You have to complete all the rituals, which is like an Easter egg trophy, except that it's really not, because it's only part of the Easter egg, and it's really quite easy. It can be done within just the first few rounds if you know what you're doing. In fact, when I was going for these trophies, I think I got like 7 or 8 out of the 10 Zombies trophies in a single game. Like right when I sort of learned how to play the first map, Shadows of Evil. And I kind of just figured out all the trophies in a single playthrough except for like 1 or 2 of them. So yeah, the Zombies trophies in the base game for this entry in the franchise are really quite easy. You have to spot the Shadow Man 5 times, which I think is pretty much going to come naturally with completing all the rituals from what I remember. You have to purchase and chew every type of gobblegum, which basically just means hit the gobblegum machine for 5 straight rounds and you're fine. Kill 10 zombies inside of a store. This one pretty much has to be done in the early areas on like the first couple of rounds, but it's fairly easy. You have to use the rocket shield to kill at least 10 zombies, probably in a single attack. Yeah, in one burst, but that's just like build the rocket shield and then launch through a group of enemies, so that's not too difficult to do. Then you have to summon the Civil Protector in every district. That, I think, was the last trophy I got in like a separate game because I didn't know exactly how to do it. For this one, you just have to get Widow's Wine and then kill 10 zombies ensnared by the grenades. That's pretty easy because it's a decent perk. Then you have to kill 2 Margwas in a round, which can only be done on some of the higher rounds, but as long as you have a good weapon, it's not too bad. I don't even know if I had a Pack-a-Punch weapon. 5 Parasites while riding on the train. This was the very first Zombies trophy I got, but it wasn't really anything too difficult. I mean, I got it sort of without even really knowing about it. Then you have to reach rank 10 and rank 55 in the multiplayer. Neither of these trophies are difficult, but they do take time, and they are multiplayer. So, obviously, you might want to get this one done sooner rather than later, the multiplayer done at least, just to not have to worry about it anymore in case there ever were any issues with the servers, or if it ever goes the way of Black Ops 2, where the game is so hacked that it becomes unplayable online. Then you have to get 5 medals based on a specialist ability in a single game. I don't even remember which ability I did this with, but I could see this probably being the hardest one in the multiplayer. Although you also have to do a specialist-based medal that requires 3 or more rapid kills. So with both of these, you're kind of just going to have to play the game and hope that you can get them. I don't know if you could actually boost these in the modern day. Maybe you can, I'm not entirely sure. As for the DLCs, we can take a quick look at those. Awakening, so far I have upgraded the Wrath of the Ancients, and these were all through getting carried by someone one day through like 1 or 2 rounds. I have bought the BRM off the wall, I have electrocuted 121 zombies, and I have used every Wonder Sphere twice. This one's actually easy, I'm surprised I don't have that one yet. This one is... I don't think that's particularly hard, but I'm not sure. I have no idea about this one. I don't even know what the Ragnarok is. I assume it's a wonder weapon. This one's annoying. Kill all like 4 or 5 different types of enemies using a minigun in a single game. The bows is part of the Easter egg, and of course you have the Easter egg. This is a fun map, but it's definitely probably a little bit tougher than some of the others as an overall map. Then you have Eclipse, which of course you have an Easter egg trophy that I haven't done yet. Then this was another time where I was getting carried. I think I was actually doing this one on a live stream at some point. Someone was carrying me on a live stream. So I managed to drink fresh Widow's Wine, which I think is part of the Easter egg, but I could be wrong, or it's a separate Easter egg. Retrieve this skull. I have no idea what that was. And then survive getting consumed. Again, I have no idea what that was. So, yeah. No idea about any of that. I know that that map is not particularly well liked. Gorod Krovi is the hardest Easter egg, supposedly, in Black Ops 3, from what I have heard. I mean, I don't know if that's entirely true compared to doing the entirety of Shadows of Evil, but apparently this is one of the most difficult Easter eggs in the game. But supposedly the rest of the trophies are not particularly hard. I just haven't played a whole lot of this map before, so I don't really know anything about it. And then you have Salvation. This is Revelations. You have to finish the Easter egg. You have to recover the Pack-a-Punch machine is easy. The Keeper trophy, I have no idea what to do for that. This one, you have to be like a minimum of round 35 to even be able to do it, I believe. That's what Ghost told me. Every unique location in 2 minutes. I've gotten all these trophies, by the way, just by playing naturally, playing with one of my friends that likes this game a lot, that likes to play the zombies. So that's a main way that we were able to make some progress on this. But also, do note that for this trophy, you have to have finished all the other Easter eggs in the game up to this point to be able to unlock this trophy. So you have to have finished the Shadows of Evil Easter egg, the giant Easter egg I think you have to have finished, as well as Gorod Krovi and Zetsubo no Shima and Derizen Drak, while also finishing this Easter egg. You don't have to have done any of the ones from Zombies Chronicles, because, of course, that came later. Zombies Chronicles I've made the most progress on because it's the one I'm most familiar with. So you have a trophy from Shino Numa that's fairly easy. You have 2 easy trophies from Ascension. You have 2 trophies from Shangri-La, including the Easter egg, which is the most recent Zombies trophy I got. You have 2 trophies from Moon, which are the Easter egg, and an obnoxious one related to the excavators. Origins, you have to do the Easter egg and complete the challenges. Nocturne Toden has a trophy, as does Kino der Toden, that are both not terribly hard. This one is not too hard if you manage to get, what's the perk called? Deadshot from the Wonder Fizz machine is about the only way you can realistically do it. So yeah, that is awesome. We finished up Platinum number 650. That is definitely one of my proudest Platinums. It is going to always be one of my rarest Platinums. But again, I don't think it's quite as difficult as a lot of people out there have cracked it up to be. I think that it's definitely not as hard as like Black Ops 4 or probably even COD Classic or World at War, but it is one of the most time-consuming Call of Duties, because this Platinum does take a solid 80 to 100 hours. I don't know how long it's going to take nowadays with how the multiplayer is, just with, you know, lower player counts and servers, and of course I still have to go back and finish all the DLC, which is going to take several more weeks. But for now, level 797, 59%, 24,184 total trophies, 650 platinums, 4,116 golds, 6,449 silvers, 12,969 bronzes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already, and I will see you guys back here for the next platinum.